hikers. Well, look who's starting their hike at 9:30 in the morning. That is really late by hiker time. But as you knew, yesterday and last night, I had tons of trail magic courtesy of my friend Becky. Her trail name is Surefoot. She is a thru hiker from 1992 and lives, I don't know, somewhat in the area, maybe like an hour from here. And she's a volunteer with the Potomac Appalachian Trail Club. She is a cabin maintainer for one of their rental cabins and comes up here and volunteers at the Appalachian Trail Museum that's in Pine Grove Furnace State Park, PA. If anyone's looking for a cool place to go camp and see a cute little amazing museum with a ton of history, it's a really beautiful museum. Anyway, Becky and I met last year at an event at the museum. I had driven down to camp by myself for the first time to see two speakers, my friend Serendipity, a 21 through hiker, and Heather Anderson Anish, who was the first female to do the Triple Crown, which means hiking in the calendar year, which means Appalachian Trail, Continental Divide Trail, Pacific Crest Trail, all in 12 months, and several other things. She has fastest known time on the AT, and she's an incredible writer as well. So anyway, I met Becky at this event, and she befriended me, drove me around to the after event at a little cidery, and said, hey, stay in touch if you're ever in the area. And people say that, but I had reached out to her when I decided I was going to thru hike, and she said, hey, let me know. I'm only an hour from Harper's Ferry. I'll come visit. And I'm like, okay, and sometimes that stuff works out, sometimes not. Well, as you know, a few days ago, I was in Harper's Ferry, and Becky came and took myself and another hiker to resupply. We went out to lunch. She drove us to the Conservancy to get our photos taken and registered. And then she texted me the next day and said, hey, because I'm headed north and so is the museum. She said, I have to do some stuff at the museum and I have to visit my cabin that I caretake. So I can slack pack you, and the cabin's only a quarter mile off of the AT. We can meet at the cabin. I will bring dinner and you can sleep inside and etc. And I said, great. And so that was going to be last night's plan. And then 2 days ago, she texted me and said, hey, there's another cabin halfway through your hike on that day, and I'll bring you lunch. And I'm like, holy cow, this keeps getting better. So then, as you saw yesterday, I had lunch and then hiked five-ish miles to the Anna Michener cabin. And when I got there, Becky had set up, we had a cookout, hot dogs, hamburgers, coleslaw, mac salad, snacks galore. She remembered I loved olives and have been craving them on the trail. She brought a whole jar of olives, French onion dip, like Corona with lime, which was incredible, and a beautiful porch. We just sat on the porch, chatted, still went to bed around hiker midnight, and slept with the window open. I had a real pillow she brought me from home, so lots of comforts. Percolated coffee on the porch, listening to the birds. And she now I'm slack packing again, super small pack. She is driving my items that I don't need for the day to the Ironmasters hostel that's at the Pine Grove Furnace State Park, where I'll be staying tonight. And she's dropping my stuff off there and heading home. And when I get to the hostel, my stuff will be there. So, and she sent me off. Listen to these trail snacks today. I have Oreos, a tasty cake like honey bun, a jar of bunch of olives, and clementines. So I don't know. It was so nice. It felt nice to be taken care of, and she just loves doing it for hikers, and it was a win-win. So I had a great day and night yesterday, and gonna get a shower today and sleep in a real bed. But I gotta plan my next couple weeks out, so I know when to get my next box and all that. But I'll be able to do so while my laundry's going and that kind of thing. This isn't my sign, but somebody coming from Georgia has marked 1,100 miles at this point. Pretty cool. Hopefully sometime I'll be able to do that. But for now, continuing north. I stopped for a quick break at the Tom's Run shelter and wanted to capture one of the unique features of this shelter. Right behind me is a fire pit, which is not uncommon, but Adirondack chairs around the fire pit. I have not seen that yet at a shelter. Very nice. It looks like there's a swing down below. The shelter itself is, fairly standard. It's clean. There is a nice gravel tent pad, or gravel pad for the picnic table, and I noticed a lot of the tent pads are really nice, flat level gravel, so you don't get mud if there's rain. And there looks like there's a swing, although there's no swing set up in it right now, down below at one of those campsites. So this looks like a pretty great place to camp for the night. There also, oh, it's over here. There's a cooking pavilion, covered cooking pavilion, which is huge when it's rainy. I've been caught out at a site with no cover over the picnic table. You're trying to make dinner, kind of rough. So anyway, Tom's Run shelter, 2 thumbs up. There's a stream on your way in, very close to the shelter. So I would totally camp here, except I'm headed to a hostel for the night and a bed and a warm shower. Sorry, Tom's, can't compete with that. Because this is responsible. Let's suck down a bunch of carcinogens and then put the burning butt into a plastic container that was meant to contain trail information and such. Good Lord, people. Leave no trace. Leave your butts at home or keep them to yourselves. Ugh. I felt the need to expand on my little rant about the cigarette butts. Because if you know me, one of my biggest pet peeves is cigarette butts get thrown out a car window. Because number one, I wouldn't throw a candy bar wrapper out the window or whatever. Maybe the people that throw cigarette butts would. I don't know. But it's like, what makes you think that that is okay? Number one, it can go into the window of the car behind you or onto someone's boat tarp or something that they're towing. In fact, that has happened. I think it's great when it happens to their own boat tarp and it catches on fire. It's like, take a hint. Don't throw your butts out the window. Keep your butts to yourselves. The world is not your ashtray. That is my saying. Anyway, I have seen a couple backpackers out here that smoke, and that's totally cool. That's your thing. But they have been responsible. They pack out their butts or other accoutrements that go along with the smoking habit, just like I pack out all my food wrappers and whatnot. Apple cores, banana peels, if I happen to get fresh fruit along the trail. So I'm not saying that everyone that smokes is irresponsible, but when I see cigarette butts out here, it just ticks me off. Especially in that, like, I've seen them inside trail register boxes. It's like, what are you doing? You can be bothered to carry a whole pack of cigarettes out here, but you can't be bothered to pack out a butt. Anyway, I could say the same for a lot of trash too, like people carry in full 12 packs of beer, but then feel compelled to leave the empties behind. It's like, it doesn't even weigh anything compared to what you just hauled in. But I'll never understand it, and I'll never solve the problem. The birds are so happy right now. I don't know if you can hear them all. Nothing remarkable about this place scenery-wise, but the sun is out and the birds are just really all singing, and it's quite delightful. Another stretch of road walking to reach, see the double blaze over on that pole, means I have to turn that way, but first, traffic. Okay then, coast is clear, here I go. Okay. Made it. Here I am, headed to the Pine Grove Furnace. I'm not going to the general store because that is not open yet. I think till Memorial Day. It's only open on weekends. But that is where people, you've seen, if you've seen documentaries, the half-gallon challenge, because people coming from Georgia are at the halfway point. They eat a half gallon of ice cream within a set time, I think like a half hour, and then they get a little wooden spoon. It's not open, it's not my halfway point, so I will not be doing it. I will do something else to celebrate my halfway point. But even though I'm not going to the store, I am going to the Ironmasters Hostel. So Pine Grove Furnace State Park is where a furnace where the iron was produced, and the Iron Master was the boss, and he got a mansion to stay in, and now that mansion is owned by the AT Museum. Or, I don't know if it's owned by the AT Museum, but it's managed by the AT Museum as a hiker hostel, and it's a really cool big old place. Seems like it'd be haunted.